Hola clase! Happy e-learning day! Today I prepared about a 10-minute mini lecture for you about our new verb tense for this unit, okay? So pull up those guided notes that I have on Canvas and use this video to help fill them out and then complete the two actividades, okay? Sound good? Vamos a empezar con el pretérito. So, just as a refresher, you already know how to say a few different things in Spanish in terms of verb tenses. You know how to talk about things you do generally, like yo pinto, like I paint, or you could know how to say I am painting, right, in the present progressive. You can also say I'm going to paint in the simple future. But what we haven't learned how to say is what happened yesterday, like how to use the past tense. Like if you wanted to say yesterday in art class, I painted a picture, how would you do that? Vas a usar el pretérito, okay? You're going to need the preterite. So what is el pretérito? El pretérito is used to express completed actions in the past, okay? To express an action that began and ended at a specific time in the past. So if you hear or see one of the following words, you're going to need el pretérito, okay? So if you want to talk about something that happened ayer, or yesterday, anoche, or last night, el otro día, the other day, el año pasado, last year, la semana pasada, last week, en el pasado, in the past, or una vez, a one-time thing. Okay? So all of these would trigger the preterite. Self-check. Which of the following would not use el pretérito? What you did last summer, what happened yesterday, what happened last month, or what is currently happening? Think you know the answer? It is D, what is currently happening, because that would obviously use el presente progresivo, which we learned in January. So the preterite's the past. It's the completed stuff in the past. Okay. Señorita León, how do I form this? Well, there's two main steps. You're going to take a verb in the infinitive, okay? So hablar or escribir. And you're going to take off the infinitive ending, okay? So if it's an AR verb, you'll take off the AR, like hablar. Or if it's an IR ER verb, you're going to take off the ER, okay? Then step two, we have new endings, okay? We're going to add our new preterite endings. Uy, muchos endings, okay? AR verbs all have the same endings, and then ER and IR verbs have the same endings. And unlike the present progressive, there are verbos irregulares, lo siento, but I will get into those in our Friday video, okay? So now I'm going to break down the AR endings and then the ER, IR endings. So here we are with the AR endings in preterite. We have A with an accent, haste, o, amos, and ar, okay? So just note, the accent marks are very important. The yo form is going to have an accent, and the el e usted form is going to have an accent for this verb tense. And it's a good thing to note that the AR present tense, like amos for nosotros, is the same. That's one less thing you have to learn, okay? So pause the video and try to see if you can conjugate pintar on your guided notes with these endings. Listo? You back? Let's see how you did. So, using our preterite endings, talking about if I want to say I painted, I would say yo pinté. You painted, tú pintaste. Él, ella, usted pintó. Nosotros pintamos. Ellas, ustedes pintaron. So that's the difference between I paint every day, yo pinto todos los días, and I painted yesterday in art class. Okay? Let's try another AR verb. This one's reflexive. Reflexive verbs are going to do the same thing they've always done, okay? You need your direct object before. So, with lavar, it would be me lavé, te lavaste, se lavó, nosotros nos lavamos, o ellos se lavaron. So the difference between I always wash my hair, siempre me lavo el pelo, and me lavé el pelo anoche, last night. Okay? So those are the AR verbs in the preterite. Now let's check out the ER and IR verbs in the preterite. They're similar with a few minor differences. Okay? Similar pattern though. Okay, so the ER and IR verbs, the yo form is an E with an accent. Iste, io, imos, iero. Again, that yo form and the LA usted form have an accent. And they're similar. Instead of a letter E, it's an I. Instead of an aste, it's an iste. Instead of just an O, it's an io. And here, this is the same as the nosotros IR form. And then iero instead of aro. Okay? So similar but slightly different. Pause the video and try to conjugate the next two verbs using the preterite endings. You back? Let's check it out. El verbo comer. Yo comí. Tú comiste. Usted comió. Nosotros comimos. Ellos comieron. See? So what's the difference between do you eat a lot? ¿Comes mucho? Or did you eat the food? ¿Comiste la comida? Did you eat my food? ¿Comiste la comida? Okay, so finished action in the past versus something that happens generally or happens all the time. And finally, vivir. So again, same endings as ER verbs, so even though it's an IR verb. Yo viví, tú viviste, él, ella, usted vivió, nosotros vivimos, ellos vivieron. Okay? So she lives in Hilliard, ella vive in Hilliard, versus she lived here in the past, ella vivió aquí. Sí? Mucha información. Lo sé, I know. A lot of new stuff, but we're going to practice a lot and it'll get easier over time. So now, pull up the actividades that you're doing for today, and you can start one with me. I'm going to read through a story about what happened yesterday in art class, and as I read, you can start circling those preterite verbs. I'll check a few, and then leave you to do the rest on your own. Sound good? Okay, so on your actividades sheet, you should see the same paragraph. Let's read it together. ¿Qué pasó ayer en la clase de arte? Ayer pasaron muchas cosas en la clase de arte. Primero, pintamos y dibujamos. Yo pinté una pintura de flores, pero Andrés dibujó unos carros. Otras personas pintaron cuadros diferentes de animales, personas y paisajes. Luego esculpimos varias esculturas. Yo esculpí una taza. Esperanza esculpió una estatua de su perro. Después se lavó las manos. Finalmente, decidimos poner todas las obras juntas en una exhibición. La maestra diseñó la exhibición, pero nosotros organizamos las obras. Se quedó maravilloso. Okay. So there are 14 verbs in the preterite in this story, because it all happened in the past. I'll help you find the first few. So in the first sentence, ayer pasaron muchas cosas en la clase de arte. Okay, a lot of things happened or passed. A lot of things happened in art class. So there's your first one. Primero, pintamos. Nosotros pintamos. We painted. Y dibujamos. We drew. Yo pinté. I painted a picture of some flowers. Pero Andrés dibujó unos carros. Okay? So those are the first five. Okay? So you see the different verbs. This is the third person plural. This is the nosotros form. This is the first person singular. And this is the third person singular. So using your guided notes in this pattern, find the other 11, or rather, math, 9 verbs in the story and write them out on the following lines. And then do the last couple questions where you write in the verbs in the correct form. Okay? I'll be on Zoom office hours. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can also email me and I'll be happy to help. Okay? It was a little bit over 10 minutes, but I think it was worth it. Muchísimas gracias. Yeah, these are your tasks. Complete the guided notes, use the video, and submit them all by midnight. ¿Sí, sí? Okay, perfecto. Gracias, clase. Nos vemos mañana in the next video. Ciao.